Hello everyone. Today we'll talk about Brenner's ecological systems theory. This is an important theory framework in child development and in human development in general. And this is one of my favorite ones because it is a theoretical framework that talks about different systems which are interconnected and has an impact on individual development. What Bronfen proposed that an individual's development is influenced by a series of interconnected environmental systems. So every person in our surroundings, be it our friends, our parents, the school, the culture that we are associated with, all of these are components of our systems. And the interconnection between these systems, it defines who we are as an individual. So I would like to give a little bit introduction before I jump into the systems of Bronfen-Brenner. This theory was developed by Bronfen-Brenner in 1979. Later, Bronfen-Brenner reintroduced or made some amend or changes in this theory, and called it a bioecological theory. If you're interested in reading about that, you can Google bioecological theory. This theory explains how a child's development is influenced by different layers of environmental system. We are not the outcome of just our parents or of our family. We are outcome of different layers of the systems. And this theory emphasized the interplay between individual and environmental factors. If you have ever read anything about child development, you would remember reading about the bidirectional relationship. Brenner focused on that bidirectional relationship, that it's not just the individual is influenced by their environment, the individual also influences their own environment. So what does he do? What does he say? So if you look, the focus here, it is the child. The child, there are five systems that the child is associated with. The microsystem, mesosystem, exosystem, macrosystem, and chronosystem. And this the interplay between these five systems defines who we are or who the child will be. And I will explain it one by one. So the first is microsystem. Microsystem is our immediate environment. So when we think about microsystem, it is our family, our peers, neighborhood, religious organization, health services, daycare facility. The immediate environment that the child interacts with, it has one-on-one interaction with them. In microsystem, the relationships are very bidirectional. So, for example, how parents treat children, that has an impact on child development, right? But temperament of child also defines what kind of parenting they would experience. Because you might have heard parents telling that my firstborn was very easy, but the secondborn had a different temperament, which impacted my sleep, made me more sleep deprived, which affected how I treated the child or how my attitude was towards child when they were younger, right? Next is mesosystem. This is the interaction between the microsystem. If family have an interaction with daycare facility, how the child is doing, they are more likely to have better understanding of their own child, right? The third is exosystem, which is a system that the child doesn't interact directly, but it has an indirect influence on the child. So, for example, the support that parents get from extended family, the work environment of parents, If parents are happy at their work, they are more likely to be less stressful at home. But if parents have difficulty at work, sometimes they might bring the stress of work at home, which will impact their parenting style towards their child. The fourth one is the ecosystem, which is the larger system which encompasses all these three. For example, attitudes and ideologies of a culture. We are product of our culture because our parents, they are also influenced by their own culture, right? So think about it. I come from a culture where harmony is much appreciated and is more prominent. So since we were kids, it was told, or we were told, that you're not supposed to talk back to your elders, or the major important component in family is that everybody stays together. So coming from a culture, it did impact how I viewed my own personal beliefs. My focus was always on making sure that nobody gets hurt, or everybody's together. So the cultural component impacts our own or shapes who we are. And the last one is chronosystem. Chronosystem is also called chronology, that is time. Time plays an important part on how we view situations around us. At what age the child experienced a certain situation, that would impact how the child handled that. For example, parents divorce at a 7-year old, if the child is 7-year old, when parents are divorced at that time, how that might influence the child would be different if the parents had a divorce when the child was 20 or 21, right? So the age of the child matters, the significance of the situation matters in terms of how old was the child when it happened, right? So these are the five systems of progress theory. We will be discussing this theory quite a lot in the rest of our semester in every age group that we discuss. But I wanted to introduce this in the beginning of the class so that you get an idea. Right. Thanks.